Hello and happy Friday and happy February, everyone. It means it's time for Dude and I to talk about achievements again. Welcome, welcome, and just a little bit of background thing. I just want to shout out because it's cool. So I use Restream for my streams because on the free version, it has always allowed me to stream to 2 locations. They changed it, and I just noticed it yesterday. You can now stream to 3 locations on the free version. So shout out to Restream for that.
And this time around, it asked me to see if I wanted to stream to my channels or something like that.
Oh, cool.
Maybe next time we can test that, but I need to see if any of my preferred platforms are available to it.
I would stream to Rumble, but in order to stream, because it doesn't have one where you can just sign into your account and stream to it for Rumble, you have to use the RTMP or whatever that is. Yeah. And in order to use RTMP links, you have to do the pro version. So unfortunately, I can't even stream to Rumble via Restream without the paid version. But
gotcha.
Shout out to them for adding an additional platform to stream to for free. So that was cool. I was like shocked about that last night. But anyways, dude, hello, welcome. It's been a while since we've chatted. How have you been doing?
Doing pretty good. Still streaming Devil May Cry now, but different Devil May Cries.
Okay.
Some people's favorite, some people's most hated.
Yeah, so I don't have a whole lot to talk about this month. So I was looking at it before we started. Because we've said that I think on every episode so far. This is episode 4. And the shortest one we've had was episode 3, was last month at an hour 50. I think we'll be able to keep it shorter than that this month, I think. So we shall see. I honestly don't have a whole lot to talk about, so I'm going to let Dude take it away and tell us about his adventures in achievement hunting for January.
What's funny is if you had asked me last week if we'd started this week or last Friday would have been Groundhog Day. And it would have been funny because the movie was like all about deja vu. And the first 2 games I'm going to talk about, I talked about last month. But it's because they took so long.
It's funny that you I didn't realize that until you pointed it out in our DMs. And I was catching up on a couple streams that I missed earlier in the week yesterday. And one of my good buddies, JT Gunn, who runs After the Weekend with R2 the Icky, another good buddy of mine, they reviewed Groundhog Day on Monday, I think it was, or Saturday. It was about a week ago. And the guest they had on was Jacob Ironside, who on his channel the very next day was also going to review Groundhog Day. So shout out to After the Weekend and Jacob Ironside, all good internet buddies.
Yeah, but it would have been funny to talk about deja vu on literal Groundhog Day if we had done it that day. But I got a little bit more than that. But first game I'll talk about, I did talk about last time, but this time around I've now completed Devil May Cry 4.
Okay. And so how much had you completed of Devil May Cry 4 before January started?
I'd have to look. Give me one moment. I can do a real quick check since I'm on Metagamer. I did get you to sign up for that site. That site.
So Dude has got me on a bunch of stuff. He's got me on retro achievements, which I talked about last month, which I'll be talking about more in a little bit. He also introduced me to Metagamer Score, which it's basically a gamer score type tracking site, but it's a conglomerate of a bunch of different platforms. So you can do retro achievements, Xbox achievements, PlayStation trophies, a bunch of other stuff. Steam,
and there's a couple of standalone MMOs. Like I think they do support they do support RuneScape
and RuneScape and stuff like that.
But the sad thing is about RuneScape is it only supports the most recent version. You know, RuneScape 3, the one that everyone hates.
Oh, bummer.
because because they don't have an API to grab achievements for old school.
Oh,
which kind of sucks. But that's on RuneScapes and not Metagamer. But
gotcha. Okay, so
Devil May Cry 4
got me signed up, so it's got my I plugged in my Xbox, which is like 99% of my stuff, but I've also added my retro achievements to my Steam as well, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. What's funny is whenever it was done compiling all of your numbers, it actually ends up being that I have more points than you.
Yeah. So I've got like a ton more achievements, but he has more Metagamer Score than me because
I don't just go for the easy stuff.
Yeah, I don't, like I've always said, I don't just go for easy stuff, but I have a lot more easy stuff than he has. So,
and what's funny is if you take away the entire Master Chief Collection from me, that's the only game that makes it competitive, because that game alone is worth 1 million points over there.
Yeah, that game is huge. Because I've got there's 700 achievements in Master Chief Collection. I've got I think about 600. So I've got a good amount of them.
At that point, just go for them.
You got the. I'm never going to get the lasso ones, but I do have the ones that I do plan to go back and get. Is I still have to do almost all of the par score achievements.
Those are
Which
easy.
I've done them all in their original game. So I've done like all the par scores in Halo 3 and in Halo Reach in ODST. I just haven't done them in Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, those are easy ones. You need to grab those.
So yeah, I just haven't
The most
gotten back
painful
to it.
ones for me outside of Lasso, but what's funny is I actually liked ODST and Reach's Lasso because you could play 4-player, and they're actually not that bad. Once you put a piece of Scotch tape and marker on your screen.
Oh, you know what? That's a good. So I just got the. You might have noticed that my angle on my camera is a little bit different than it usually is because I got a new monitor, which is bigger and taller. And I just got it set up about a week ago. And I was playing with the buttons, and it has a setting built into the monitor for that, so I can turn on a crosshair on the monitor if I wanted to for games that don't have like a HUD or something. So I was like,
well,
maybe I'll
if
have
you
to
want
do
to do
that.
it for Reach or ODST, let me know because I don't mind doing those two.
Okay.
But
so
let's go
take
back
us
to
away with DMC.
Yeah, Devil May Cry 4. Before the January show, I had pretty much gone through the first 3 difficulties, and I had to. And with the way this game works with the achievements, you have to S rank every difficulty.
Yeah, I remember
Every level and every difficulty. So it takes a while to do that. Luckily, the first 3 difficulties, most of the time, I was able to get them first try after I had played through the game the first time. So it wasn't too bad. But the thing is, though, once you got to Dante Must Die difficulty, that's when it started getting a little bit more difficult. Because things just take more hits.
Highest difficulty?
Yes. It is the highest normal difficulty. There's 2 more difficulties after that, but I'll talk about them in a moment.
Like those mean difficulties?
Yeah. But with this one, it's like enemies take more hits. You take a lot more damage each time you get hit. And if you leave enemies too long, they'll go into their own Devil Trigger mode, which makes them take less recoil. And also take less damage and do more damage.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
But I actually like how Devil May Cry 4 does it. It actually takes time for them to get into it. In Devil May Cry 3, I did not like the Devil Trigger mode for enemies because if you killed an enemy, all the other enemies that are around would actually go into Devil Trigger immediately. So it was like trying to make it so you had to slowly kill all the enemies before you just try to kill all of them at once with like a last hit.
It's kind of like because I think I played it in November. I went through Doom Eternal again and got the completion in the extra life mode. And in the second DLC they introduced, I think the creature's called a Shrieker, and if you kill that first, it buffs all the other enemies in the arena. So you want to save it for last. Sounds kind of like that.
It's been a while since I played that DLC, so I wouldn't remember it. But yeah, so once I S ranked all of that, I then went on to the Bloody Palace mode because the 2 meme difficulty would mess up my gameplay for the Bloody Palace, which is the survival mode. This time around, the survival mode's 101 floors, and every 20 floors you fight a boss.
Sounds like Sword Art Online.
Something like that, yeah. But the last 2 floors are actually just 2 bosses right after each other. So sadly, I did fail it at floor 60 because I just for some reason screwed up that boss. Even though the next time I went through it, I think I only got hit by that boss like once or twice. The next time I went through, lucky it was the same stream, so it wasn't like, dang it, now I got to do this. Now that was a waste of the stream. It's like,
so how long do you think it took you to get to level or wave 60 or whatever?
That one only took that. I think the entire thing only took around 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
One run, so it's not like Devil May Cry 2, which took me 8.5. And that's just because you're only supposed to be using the guns because of the way that game works, especially certain floors where you're fighting the wolves.
Okay.
But it's actually better to use Nero in the Bloody Palace than it is to use Dante. And Nero is the new character. You can choose which character you use.
Okay, it's not like switch on the fly, right?
No.
Okay, you like pick before
You
each
pick
level?
before you start. Well, in the main game, you only play as a specific character in specific levels. Like
Okay.
for the first 11 levels, you play as Nero. Then the next 7 you play as Dante, and then the last 2 you play as Nero, because it's more of a Nero story than a Dante.
Okay.
Dante just kind of is the catalyst that causes it to happen.
Gotcha.
But it was actually, I mean, and the Bloody Palace, it was actually fun. And then the 2 meme difficulties, you had heaven or hell. Literally everything in the game dies in one hit. Every boss, and including yourself. But the
So
way the game works, way that mode works, is that you get every time you start over, or start a level, or start from a continue, you get 3 golden orbs, which automatically respawn you at that moment.
okay.
So, and
So
that's a mechanic from the main game that you would have to buy or pick up a gold orb. But in Heaven or Hell, they just give them to you. So you
okay.
technically have 3 hits before you die.
Gotcha. And I'm assuming like just when you're going guns blazing and not worrying about like melee, it's not too difficult.
Yeah, everyone just goes through that mode with just guns. There's only a couple of enemies that will cause you to need to actually do something more than that. And that's usually it's usually a boss that has like a little shield thing that prevents you from hitting them with the gun.
Okay.
And that's one of the what the final boss is. So you have to actually hit him.
Okay.
And then the next difficulty is Hell
yes.
or Hell. Every enemy acts like it's on Son of Sparta mode, which is the difficulty underneath Dante Must Die. But you die in one hit. It still has the same system with the gold orbs.
That sounds brutal.
Luckily, you can use the super characters whenever they get from beating Dante Must Die. So you can always be in Devil Trigger mode, which is the super mode.
Okay. If you happen to have it pulled up right now, do you know what the ratio is on that achievement?
Which one have Hell or Hell?
Yeah.
Let me see. I
I'm just
have the
curious.
other game that I'll talk about later pulled up, but let me see. Let me order this. Let me see it. How do you order on True Achievements again?
I have my defaults. Oh, when you go to like the filter at the top right of the list of achievements, you can select like the order by and stuff. I have my default set to lowest to highest.
Let's see now. Actually, the hardest achievement in the game, according to True Achievements, is beating every mission in Dante Must Die on S ranking, and that's a 7.75.
Oh, I'm pulling it up here. The one that you were playing, was it the
The 360 version?
edition?
No, it's a 360 version. The special edition has even worse achievements.
Oh, so they're not exactly the same?
Yeah, they've added a couple more to the special edition.
Oh, I didn't realize this was Ninja Theory.
Huh. Maybe the remake was Ninja Theory.
Because I'm
looking
at the 360 version.
It's publisher and developer of Capcom. I don't see Ninja Theory anywhere.
Oh, I'm looking at I think the other DMC game that you're going to be talking about.
That's the one that be talking about later. But yeah,
okay. Sorry to jump ahead.
Yeah, but I'm actually looking in according to True Achievements, True Achievement ratio, 7.75 for beating the Dante Must Die with S ranking. 7.72 for completing Bloody Palace with an S ranking. To be honest, as long as you don't use the super mode and you get through the entire thing, you should always get the S ranking. Then acquiring 1,000,000 Proud Souls. That one was just grindy. That one was like almost Dynasty Warriors level grind. And that's a 6.95. Yeah. Then of course, and then the next 3 are literally just the S rankings on the other difficulties.
Yeah.
That's I'm actually amazed at game. What's funny is the easy difficulty is a higher true achievement ratio than normal.
I've seen that occasionally on games, typically when the difficulties don't stack.
There it is. And that's only like the clear all missions on in Hell or Hell and Hell, and that's 5.92.
Okay, tough, but not too bad.
No, but yeah, just kind of Also they also designed the rankings to actually work with the difficulties. So like it actually increases the time that you take to have that the ranking can work with whenever you increase in difficulty. So like maybe on easy, it takes you it's asking you to beat it in 5 minutes, but then on normal, it'll ask for 7. Hard, it'll ask for 10.
Okay, so it actually gives you more time to do it because it's more difficult. Gotcha.
Well, it's because the enemies take more damage. So
right. Okay. Because I would figure that they would give you less time since it's higher difficulty, but
I think that would only really work if it just made it so that all the enemies just dealt more damage to you.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking they probably would have to not tweak the stats as much.
Yeah.
In order to not make that totally unfair.
I'm just glad they didn't ask me to S rank on Heaven or Hell.
Oh yeah, that'd be pretty brutal. Hey, we got a good friend Extra Zero in the chat saying hello, howdy friends. What's up, Extra Zero? Dude is just telling us about his. Well, he didn't do the entire thing, but he completed the most difficult part of Devil May Cry 4.
Luckily, the 360 version, the Xbox One version, is a little crazy because I'll tell you some of the added achievements they added, because they added 3 more characters to play as. If you know Devil May Cry, they added Trish, Lady, and Virgil as playable characters in Devil May Cry 4.
I've heard the
Virgil is
names.
Virgil is Dante's twin brother.
Okay.
And what's funny is whenever they brought Virgil into Devil May Cry 4, he's not even in the game entirely. He's not even in the story or anything. But when they brought him in, they brought in some of the mechanics from the reboot with him, because he was the DLC. He was a DLC for the reboot. It's just kind of funny that they brought some of his mechanics from that game into a mainline game. I guess they were like, hey, those are actually pretty decent ideas. But because of them adding characters, what they did is they now made it so that you have to go through the Bloody Palace with every character.
Okay.
So you have to go through the Bloody Palace 5 times. Then there's an achievement for beating Dante, who's the final floor on the Bloody Palace, without getting hurt once. By the way, he has guns.
Oh my goodness, that sounds.
So you can already tell what the problem would be with that.
Can you block in the game, or do you have to parry or dodge, how does that work?
The only way you can do is dodge, but if he uses it in a certain way, you're not dodging the bullets. Which it sucks because it's like you spent 2 hours just to get to him, and then he just decides to shoot you as soon as the round starts, and it's already over. The attempt's already over.
So, and he's got a full health bar, right? Or is he a one-hit kill as well? Okay, that's what I figured.
Well, this is Bloody Palace mode, not you have to go through the Bloody Palace mode to attempt it.
Okay, so you have to go through all 100 waves to get to him, and
then he can just
not get hit in order to get the achievement. So, is there any way to cheese that to reload from the last?
I've heard there's a way to cheese it, but it's using the super mode and using a certain attack with your own Dante. Because I think whenever you use the super mode and you build up a meter, it doesn't go down whenever you use it.
Okay.
So I've heard that that's a way, but there's still that chance that he decides to just shoot you while you're getting into it.
So, that would just be demoralizing.
Yeah.
How many? So it sounds like you did it legit then, without any cheese strats.
Well, for me, I didn't use any cheese strats because I had to do the S ranking. Remember, I was doing the 360 version. This is the Xbox One version that I'm talking about.
Okay.
So luckily, I didn't have to do that. Then there's also the for every single boss in the game, all the all the demon bosses, you had to beat them with an S. I can't remember if it was an S or a triple S rating on the hard difficulty.
Okay, so just for, one last thing on that last one where you have to beat the boss of the final floor without taking damage. You don't have that one yet, since it's the Xbox One version we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the Xbox One version. What they added in there was crazy.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So that's not one that you got.
Oh, and apparently
Going
they
for the
did add
completion.
another difficulty, but I've heard that, but it's not. I think it's in between two difficulties, so it's just another playthrough.
Okay, okay, I'm with you now.
Oh, there's an achievement for beating it within 2 hours. The Bloody Palace. Yeah, the defeat Dante in the Bloody Palace without taking damage achievement has a 7.89 true achievement ratio.
I'm surprised it's not higher. That would be.
It looks like the highest one is beating Dante with the triple S ranking. At least with that one, you can do it in the normal game. You don't have to do a 2-hour run just to get to them.
Okay, man. But yeah, just thinking about that is giving me a little bit of anxiety.
Yeah, just thinking about that's giving me anxiety. So I think I'll move on to the next game.
All right.
And this is also another repeat with Dynasty Warriors 3.
Okay.
Remember, this is based on the Romance of the Three Kingdoms book, which is based on China history.
Yeah, you were telling me about that last stream.
Yep. So there's three main kingdoms. There's Shu, Wei, and Wu. I think around when I was done, whenever we were talking about it last stream, I was done with Shu. I was finishing up Shu. I'm almost done with Wei now. I've got like one more character I have to go through the entire hard difficulty with. Okay. But I still have to go through Wu, and apparently, I did do a count. They have 2 more characters than the other two kingdoms. So I have to do 12 characters. The other two have only had 10.
So this is like a total of like 32 playthroughs.
Well, it's different levels for each character. It's not the same exact levels for each character.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like it tries to say a little bit historical based on what they were supposed to be fighting in. But because it wasn't too historical, it had characters that were fighting in battles that after they were supposed to have been dead.
Okay.
And also before they were even there.
Either way, it sounds like there's a lot of playthroughs for that game.
Yeah. So a couple of the levels I played a little too often, but that's just how Dynasty Warriors is. Extra, I will get to that later.
Yeah, I was gonna say because you're jumping ahead. He'll definitely talk about. Hey, what's up, Horny Alf? Good evening, bro. Good to see you. Hopping in here to say hi, hail. So, all right.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I can talk about Dynasty Warriors for a while, but I've been playing it since the third game came out, and that was back in. Trying to find the copyright information on here. 2001.
Oh. Yeah, I was gonna say a while ago.
Yeah, I've been playing them for about over 20 years now, and I've got tons of the 360 and PS3 or Xbox and PlayStation versions done. It's just that now that Retro Achievements added the PS2 games in,
right?
It's gone backwards. Kind of fun. Kind of fun going back to those era, because the PS2 games, they actually try to encourage you to not go off on your own as much. They actually try to encourage you to actually move up with your own army because of the way the stats are and how much slower you tend to be.
Gotcha.
But nowadays you can just bust through 100 enemies with no problem in the modern ones. Both have their merits, but
yeah, I've got because I had an idea popped into my head sometime in January of like, hey, you know, the original Xbox isn't on Retro Achievements as well as GameCube, but I was like, PS2 is, and I know I had to look into it to see if any of the games that I wanted to play for achievements, from that era were on PlayStation 2. So there's a couple games I looked at, I'm like, oh, cool. There was a PlayStation 2 version. So I've added them to the games I'm going to be playing at some point, so I can get retro achievements for them.
And
as well.
I think it's well established now, but on retro achievements, you can actually go to a page called Sets in Progress, and they currently have people working on GameCube sets.
Oh yeah.
But the way that they tend to do big console releases like that, they tend to try to make quite a few sets available before they actually make it public. So
yeah, so it's kind of like a launch.
they do
So
like a roll.
hey,
They do like a rollout. I
here's
think
all
the
these
PS2
games.
was the biggest one, and they had like 90 games supported whenever they did the rollout.
Nice. Yeah, it's like, hey, instead of just like, hey, it's the GameCube is supported now, but we don't have these achievement sets, so you got to wait for everyone to build the set. So it's like, hey, it's available now. We've got all these games that have achievement sets built for it already. That's awesome.
But what's crazy is with the PS2 support, they don't do it through RetroArch. But they also didn't make their own fork of an emulator either, like they did whenever I was developing. Because back when I developed, they just made their own fork of an emulator like SNES 9X. This time around, it's actually in the one of the official builds of PS2, the PCSX2. That's how you get the PS2 achievements.
Okay, I'll probably have to connect with you about that whenever I do.
It's not too difficult. You just have to go to the PCSX2 website.
Oh,
So
and
that's questioning how they're going to be adding GameCube support. Are they doing it through the official Dolphin emulator, or are they doing it through RetroArch?
Gotcha. Okay.
Connecting to the Dolphin core.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward because there's a bunch of GameCube games that I'd like to play again for achievements for sure.
Exactly. If once GameCube comes out, I might not be playing anything else. Problem is, I need to figure out how to get my GameCube controllers working on my Linux computer.
Yeah.
Biggest problem with upgrading to Linux, not all the controller drivers work.
Oh yeah, I haven't done a whole lot on Linux, but yeah, I could see that definitely being a hassle.
Luckily, PS5 controllers and Xbox One controllers are pretty easy.
Yeah. So okay.
I just use a PS5 controller when I'm playing PS2.
Nice. So, all right. I guess I'll get into a little bit on mine. So the first thing I really did, at least I'm pretty sure it was like the first thing I did, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned it at the end of last one, was the game Cryo Gear. So I think I went into the fact that I've been going back and forth with the developer about the not exactly glitched, but various bugs or other things that prevented me from getting the final achievement, because I got all but one of the achievements when I played through the game initially.
Is that the one that got you stuck? That got you stuck behind a door that just wouldn't open again?
Yes, that is the one. So, because I played through the game, I think it was back in June for the first time, or I played through it 2 or 3 times, and then I had one achievement left, and on the second or third playthrough, whatever one it was, I went to where you're supposed to, and the door that's supposed to be open was not open, and I couldn't beat the game and get that last achievement, and so I gave up on it for a while. And then I came back to it again later, and I went through it again, and ended up not being able to get back to the first room because I didn't have the proper equipment, because it's not required to get to the boss of the game. It's just required to get from the boss of the game back to the beginning. Because there's only, even though there's 2 routes you can go to get to the boss, there's only 1 route you can take to get back. So I got stuck that way. And that's where I was going back and forth with the developer on Twitter. Like, I think that was like in October or so. I'd have to go back and look at the DMs. But I was like, all right, I'm finally going to do whatever it takes to get that last achievement. And so I made sure I got that one item that I was missing, which was I forget what it was called, but it was some sort of ice blast item, because what prevented me from getting back is there's this one room where the floor is made up of like these spinning like saw blades, and you can't get through them. You just bounce off them, and of course you take damage until you die. The way you get through them is you have to shoot them with that ice blast item, and then that freezes them, and then you can fall through them. So I made sure that I got that before I went to the final boss, and I made it back to the first room in the game, and I teleported back before I went to because after you beat the final boss, you can't teleport. You actually have to walk through them. But before you do that, you can teleport to any room that you've been to and activated 2 of the save points because there's 4 in each room. So I teleported back just to make sure the door was open. Then I teleported back to the boss, beat him, and I think I did. No, I played just a couple minutes of it on stream during one of my streams before I got into something. I think it was when I was doing some retro arc, which I'll get to in a little bit. But I beat the boss, made it back through. I got to the final door. It was open. I hit the computer or whatever, and I finally got the good ending, got the final achievement, got the completion in cryo gear. And because once you beat the boss, you have it gives you a 99-minute countdown before the game ends, and you have to start like another New Game Plus, which I think I was on either New Game Plus 4 or New Game Plus 5 before I finally did it. And I got to the door, and I think I still had like 70 minutes left. So I made it pretty quick that time. So I finally got the completion in cryo gear, and like I said before, this is a very, very small player base. I think on Xbox there's only like 60 or 70 people who played it. I was the 13th completion, and
kind of funny you're the 13th whenever you had so much.
I didn't even think about that till just now. Yeah, I had so much bad luck, and I ended up being the 13th completion. And the last completion in the game was in like May of 2021, so it's going up on 2 years since anyone else has completed the game on Xbox.
Dang.
And then literally like 2 weeks later, one of my buddies from my achievement hunting Discord got the completion in it as well. So I saw that he had been playing it because I saw it show up in my feed. So I messaged him a couple times in Discord, be like giving them some tips so he didn't have to play through it as many times as I did. I'm like, hey, you should do this and make sure you do this. So he was able to get through all the achievements. I think 2 playthroughs. Lucky bastard.
You didn't have the break.
Yeah. Hey, there's DJ. What's up, DJ Axis?
Yeah, we don't have that.
I don't know if Extra Zero is still here, but DJ is now here, so you can say it again. So that was the first thing I worked on. The others back into the realm. So I think I did mention at the end of maybe the December stream that what I was going to be working on first and foremost at the beginning of the year was getting the last achievement or couple of achievements in a few games that glitched out on me. So I was able to pull it off on cryo gear. The other glitched game I played right after that was I did another playthrough of the Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy game. Because as I said before, I'm pretty sure there's 16 chapters, and I got the achievement for chapter 16 completion. I didn't get the achievement for chapters 14 or 15, which also caused me to not get the achievement at the end of the game for completing all the chapters.
Oof.
And I panic played that before it left Game Pass last March. So I waited for it to go on sale. I think I ended up getting it for like $6 or $7.
I think I have one of the collector's editions for it.
Okay. But yeah, I bought it after it left Game Pass on a really good sale. I think I got it for like $7. And so in January, I was like, all right, I'm going to do another playthrough and hopefully I'll get the achievements this time. And I got to the end of chapter 14 and waited for chapter 15 banner to pop up and no achievement. So I deleted my local save so that it didn't overwrite my cloud save so that I could try it again from the last checkpoint in chapter 14. And I did that like 4 or 5 times and still no achievement. So I went and looked at some people who had streamed the game to see at what point should the achievement pop up. And right as I expected, the achievement for completing the chapter should pop up like right as the banner for the next chapter pops up saying chapter 15. And I had seen that some other people had also had some problems with the achievements, and they said maybe trying the PC version. So I installed it on my computer, and because it is Play Anywhere, I was able to pick up right at the end of chapter 14, and I played through it on my PC. Still no achievement. Unfortunately, I don't know how to do the delete local save trick on PC like I do on Xbox. So it then overwrote my save to not being at the end of chapter 14, but being right at the beginning of chapter 15. So I couldn't go back and keep trying it. But I didn't think any more attempts was going to have any effect.
Yeah.
So I did a whole playthrough of the game again and got 0 new achievements. There's only 3 left that I need, and I still don't have them. So, however, I think the reason why is because this playthrough I did as a new game plus. Whenever I do get around to playing through it again, I already did this. I'm pretty sure I already deleted all of my save data so that when I start it again, it'll be starting from scratch. And I'm thinking that'll pop the achievement next time.
Yeah, that actually worked for me on another game. Warriors Orochi 3. I can't remember. I think it was the ultimate version.
Okay.
It was one of those games that it actually had Xbox keep track as well.
Oh, like the achievement tracking?
Yeah, but it also kept tracking local because it also has a PlayStation version, so it made sense to do it locally. But I think for some reason, whenever the way I was doing this one achievement, it got out of sync.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Because of that, the game itself thought, okay, this one's already been completed. Well, the achievement tracker didn't see it as completed, so I was like at 98 out of 100, and it's like 70 different combinations. This is one of the things you need to unlock every character to try again. Well, turns out I had to delete my entire save, which I had completed everything, but luckily I did the stuff that took even longer than unlocking all the characters. So
Yeah.
I just needed to re-unlock all the characters to get that to try again, and that's my only solution on True Achievements.
Okay.
It's got a couple of upvotes.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure I already deleted my save. So whenever I do get around to playing through it again for the 3rd time, I'll be starting from a blank slate. So the achievements should unlock this time. I just don't know when I'm going to get around to it.
As long as it's a good game, it's not too bad.
It is a good game. I definitely recommend it. It's a fun game. It's pretty long though. It's not like something you can rush through. Even going through it, it still takes like 15 to 20 hours.
Gotcha.
And
hopefully if I ever go through it, it doesn't cause me any issues like that.
One thing,
knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. One thing that is kind of nice is that there's no difficulty based achievements, so you can actually use the custom accessibility settings to make it easier, so that your guns and stuff do more damage. Which I didn't do on my original playthrough, but I did it on this playthrough to try to make it as quick as possible, and it still took 15 hours or so to get through the game because you can't really speed through the game. So, hey, we got
Quicker only does so much for a story game.
Yeah, you can skip through. It's kind of weird because you can't just skip through an entire cutscene, but you can speed through dialogue. But there are some times where there's no dialogue and you can't skip it. You just got to wait for it to play out. So that doesn't help it speed up at all either. So that's a little bit of a pain, but it is a good game and I do recommend it. And what's up, Nerdporial Lifeform? How's it going, bro? What achievements is this stream about? We are talking about our achievement hunting ventures over the course of January. And Real Wade Nation, what's up, Real Wade Nation? Good to see you, bro. Welcome, welcome. You made it to 1,213. I have no idea what that's in reference to, but good job, man. Congrats.
1,213 achievement points or achievements?
I have no idea. Maybe it's probably views on a video would be my guess. So if that's views on a video, that's awesome.
Yeah,
good job.
It would be awesome. If it was just achievements too, it would be pretty cool. But if it's just points, that's like a game and a 5th
channel, or maybe it's subs on your channel. That's awesome too. So, yeah, if you want to go ahead next before I talk about more. Oh, he's talking about subs. 1,200 subs, dude. That's awesome. Congrats, man. Yeah, you got me by times 10.
I'll go ahead and talk about the next game I was working on stream. This one only took me 2 nights, though.
Okay.
But I did went for Donkey Kong Country.
That is on my list of retro achievement games to play.
Yeah, because they added some achievements since the last time I played it. So I went and worked on that.
Did you previously have the completion in that?
Yes, so I technically still had the completion on the site. It's just that because of the way that works, if on retro achievements, if you complete a set, it won't take away the mastery whenever they add new achievements because it is a community made. set.
Yeah,
So
that's nice.
sometimes maybe someone will come in with new achievement ideas and then
Yeah,
add
you
add
don't
them
lose
in.
your completion when they add new achievements like
Yeah,
on
but if you were
Xbox.
like one away and then they add a bunch of achievements, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Because like most of these were like, I think the one I did for or the main one went for first was the speedrun achievement where you beat the game in an hour and 10 minutes in game timer.
Okay.
I ended up screwing it up the first time, but I was able to do it. I was able to do it again on the same stream. So,
Cool.
but
Yeah, I haven't played any of the DKC games since I was a kid, but I love those ones.
I played a lot of 1 and 2. So
Okay.
even
Those are the
recently,
I had them. I think I had played them. I didn't own DKC 1 or 2, but I back in the day I played them at a friend's houses and or borrowed them. I did. I'm pretty sure I did buy them on the Wii shop, so I could boot up my Wii and play them. But I do still own the DKC 3 cartridge. That's the one I've actually owned the cartridge for, so that's one I've played the
gotcha.
most.
Most of the added achievements were like completing levels while still on the Animal Buddy, like beating Millstone Mayhem while riding Winky the frog.
Winky, okay. I was gonna say,
Because
I remember
that was a little that one's
Rambi the
actually only hard.
rhino,
There is a
On
couple
Guard
with
the
Rambi.
swordfish. What was the frog was? What was the frog's name?
Winky
Winky, and what was the ostrich's name?
Espresso.
Espresso. Okay, I always remember
Because
On Guard and Rambi, but I couldn't remember the other
yeah,
ones.
it's
And I
because
remember
they
Squitter the
come back up
spider.
more often.
Squitter the spider was one of my favorites.
Yeah, and that one started in 2. But like Millstone Mayhem, that one was actually not too difficult until you got to like the final gopher wheel. Because of the way it was, it's just you can't jump. It's really difficult to jump under it without hitting it with the frog. And with the way that one is, if you get hit, you're losing the frog.
Yeah, it's kind of like you
Temple
losing
Tempest
Yoshi
and
and
also
Mario.
Temple Tempest while riding Espresso. Any of them that involve Espresso are a bit difficult because Espresso does not hit enemies.
Oh, you can't
Even
even
when you
jump
jump.
on top of them?
Yeah, Espresso doesn't. Espresso will take the hit. It never gives hits.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But Nerd Portal's asking about Retro Achievements. So Retro Achievements is a site that Dude actually developed for a while that adds achievements into retro games like Super Nintendo, NES, Genesis, PS2, PS1. And so if you are interested in that, we can definitely hook you up.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just looking through the list on Metagamer Score because it has it based on when I got them. So like there was also achievements that they added for the warps, which I didn't add in whenever I originally made the achievement list because I actually made the full list back in the day whenever we had different rules for sets, and I'd put it up to 400 points.
Because
I didn't
the
want to put any
DKC
speed. I was
was
trying not
some
to
of the
put any
sets that you.
speedrun type achievements because I thought that okay, let's make a leaderboard for the speedrun people, not thinking about making an achievement for it.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that. That's one of the things that me and my Metroidvania buddies are always irks us is when people because so many Metroidvanias have achievements for speedruns. It's like it's not conducive to a Metroid game. But so not DMC, DKC, was that one of the sets that you developed?
Yes.
Okay.
I did the Super
The
Nintendo and the
original.
GBA version.
Oh, that's right. So yeah, so he's basically you already had the completion of your own achievements, but someone
Yes.
else added some more after it. So, but yeah, that's cool. That's pretty cool. Getting an achievement that you developed. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and most of the achievements, like I said, they added in were like extra stuff that wasn't for like the 101% completion and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, there was a couple of achievements they added for all the warps in each of the worlds, and oh yeah, there was one for entering all 5 bonus areas in that one stage in a single visit.
Okay.
The one that we gave Craig some trouble with. I kept on making him 100% that level.
Oh, when he was doing his funathon for it.
I messed with him real bad today because he was having trouble, and then someone gave him mitts. Well, a little bit later, like soon after someone gave him mitts, I decided to give him $5 and like I sent some help. I sent something to some advice in a DM on Discord, and it was just Cranky saying "get good." What's funny is he didn't actually look at the DM until after he died with the oven mitts. So after he had all that trouble with the oven mitts, he then goes and looks at my advice, and it's just get good.
Get good. It's like, oh, you bastard.
I think that was the closest we got to breaking him today.
Nerdporial, I do consider you one of my Metroidvania buddies. I am when I said Metroidvania buddies, I was specifically talking about my my Xbox achievement hunting 101 buddies, because we have basically a whole Discord channel dedicated to it, and we're all climbing over each other for the Xbox Metroidvania leaderboards. But I do consider you a Metroidvania buddy for sure.
One last thing I'll talk about with DKC, because I did actually do that one on stream, so you can go and check it out. It only took 2 nights, so. But the one that gave me the most trouble was actually the achievement called A Very Fast Blast, and you have to collect the blue balloon at the end of Snow Barrel Blast. Do you know what that takes of?
It's been so long since I played DKC 1 that no, I have no idea.
Snow Barrel Blast is the one with all the barrels that you have to get through at the end, right?
That sounds familiar.
And the snow level. Well, you have to go through like the last 5 really quickly for you to be able to get that blue balloon.
Okay.
It took me at least 20-30 minutes to get that thing. Luckily, I saved up about 50 lives before I tried it.
Okay. Yeah, I would say you could stockpile lives, so that should at least make that a little more easy, but
a little bit. But
it's like pixel perfect, right?
Almost pixel perfect, yeah. That one took me a bit.
Yeah, okay.
The rest of them were just knowing where to go and doing something specific, like beating a certain level without killing any enemies.
Okay, makes sense. I will give you that Metroidvania is more Nintendo than Xbox, given that Metroid is a Nintendo franchise, but I would be willing to bet that there are more Metroidvanias on Xbox than there are on Nintendo.
Yeah, but Metroids have always...
Nintendo Switch. The current generations, I would say.
If you think about it, though, Metroid has always encouraged you to speedrun.
Oh, yeah, because for the better
beat the first one in under an hour, you get the bikini Samus. And it's a similar thing with every game. You beat it under a certain time, you get Bikini Samus.
Is it?
It's only the primes that didn't have speedruns associated, because they just did it based on completion of finding all the expansions.
Is it? Cause I want to say for the original one, you had to get 100% in under like an hour.
No, in the original, just beat it under an hour.
Just beat it under an hour. Okay.
And I developed the original set for that, so I know.
Oh yeah. I definitely wouldn't question you on that for sure then. Is the Snow Barrel Blast the level before Squawks? Squawks! I forgot about Squawks.
It is before that one. It is before that one. It's the first snow level.
How does he have so many rocks in his stomach and still fly?
That is true. Well, he doesn't spit out rocks in the first game, so.
Oh, he just carries you. That was added later.
No, in the first game, all he does is carry a light.
Okay.
And they added an achievement for beating that level without using Squawks.
Okay. Hey, what's up, a good buddy JT? I was just talking about you earlier when we were talking about Groundhog Day at the beginning with After the Weekend and Jacob Ironside. What's up, JT?
I can talk about one more game that I worked on.
Okay.
I went ahead and went back to Spyro the Dragon since someone added some achievements to that one as well.
Oh, did you have the previous?
I already had the completion, but it was they added some achievements, and what's crazy is that some of the achievements they added were just like progression achievements. It's like one for rescuing 10, 50, and 80 dragons. They added in.
That's something you should have at the beginning, but not something you add after an achievement set already exists.
I think it's because the set originally only just had complete. Most of the achievements were just 100%ing each level. So I guess someone wanted some achievements where it was progressive.
That makes sense.
Or throughout the entire game. But the only 3 that they really added that were somewhat difficult were there was an achievement for holding a glide for over 5 seconds and land safely. You just needed to know where to go for that one, and then go through three different levels without taking a hit.
Okay.
Luckily, whenever you did those, you didn't have to go for any completion or anything. You just had to start the level and then get to the exit. And there also had an achievement for beating Nasty Nork because there wasn't an achievement specifically for that.
Okay. Yeah, I'd never played the Spyro games originally, but I did play the Reignited trilogy a couple of years ago, and I do have the completion in that.
Hey, you can always play the PS1 versions now to get achievements.
I don't. I mean, I definitely could. I don't have the nostalgia for Spyro because I never even played it until that was the first time I played a Spyro game, so I don't have the nostalgia for it. So I probably won't. But hey, there always is that option.
Yep, and they're not hard completions. I can beat them in like one day now.
Okay,
I think I can beat each one in one day.
Yeah, maybe I will. I don't know. I'm not against it. I'll say that.
They are definitely under 10-hour games each, so not a bad. They're not bad to just get a completion out of the way.
Yeah, JT, I was just listening because I didn't catch it live, but I just listened to the after the weekend Groundhog's Day just yesterday, so it's fresh in my mind.
And technically, with Nasty Nork, there is a way to do an endless loop because you could just not flame them and just keep on going in a loop.
Add your Groundhog Day into Spyro, and I think we got him. We got Nerd Pearl. He wants to try the retro achievements. Do it, one of us. Yeah,
always one of us.
Hit me up in Discord, and
hey, I've almost tempted K with Fire Emblem.
That's right. Yes.
I almost wonder if Path of Radiance getting achievements would actually cause her to think about it.
It might. Yeah, their retro achievements is
which is awesome. One of the games that's getting worked on right now.
Ooh. I mean, I have no interest in that, but I would definitely be. I would be excited to see Kay go for it.
I'm more interested in Sunshine and Twilight Princess, to be honest.
Oh yes, I would love a reason to play Twilight Princess again because it's this close to Ocarina of Time.
I am a Sunshine defender.
Oh, for Mario Sunshine?
Yep.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't really care for Mario Sunshine. I'm just not big on the Mario franchise in general, so it doesn't matter to me one way or the other. But I know that Sunshine does get it's kind of like the black sheep of the family for the mainline game.
And what's sad is I think it has the best Mario moveset of any Mario game.
I could see that.
Because it also with the way the pack works, you can use it to speed run or just do things more reliably.
Okay.
Because you could like just spray the ground in front of you, and then you could start a slide, and it allows you to move really quickly.
Impromptu speedrunning.
Yep.
Sweet. Okay. So, was there anything else you want to touch on what you were talking about?
We can go to you now because I got one more game I worked on last month, and I'll talk about next month.
I'll go through a couple of quick ones. There's most people probably never even heard of this game, and I don't even remember ever picking it up, but I bought it like I think it was $5 at full price. So
at over 5,000 physical games, I sometimes forget what games I pick up.
Yeah, and I got this game like probably 10 years ago, but it's called Abyss, and it's just this little game where you're this little like it looks kind of like a rocket ship, but it's all underwater, and you just angle yourself and you hit spacebar to do propulsion, and you have to make it through these levels and get these little glowing lights. So and I think I had about half of the achievements, and I don't even know why because I wasn't planning on playing it. I'm waiting for it to load here. So it's not as old as I thought it was. I started it in March of 2019. Okay, so it wasn't that long ago, and I had, let's see, there are 20 achievements total, and I had 4 of them before December. That's why I used it for a couple of achievements for 12 Days of Christmas, and so by the time I had gotten through it, I had probably like half of them, and the completion time's only like 3 to 4 hours. So I was like, yeah, what the heck, I'll finish it off. So you basically just have to get through all of the levels, and there's brightness settings, so you just have to have the brightness setting set to the lowest, and because there's an achievement for that at the end. So I basically just had to complete the rest of the game, which wasn't too terrible, except for those one level that was a pain. It took me probably like 20 tries. All the rest of the levels, 2 or 3 tries. So got that completion. That was I think it was like considered a Windows. It's a Windows 8 game. That's why there's not a lot of people who probably even know about it. But I got that completion. I was looking for another because I like to keep my achievement streak going by getting at least one achievement a day. And so with all these games that I was playing in January, where I was getting like no achievements, like Guardians of the Galaxy took me probably a week or 2 to get through, and I wasn't getting any achievements there. Cryo Gear, I only had 1 achievement left, so I wasn't getting any achievements for that except for when I got to the end. So in order to keep my achievement streak alive, I just started a relatively short game so I could just get an achievement each day and then play whatever else it was that I was going to work on. So I started playing Contrast, which is it's a 3D puzzle game where you can go into the light. You can go around in 3D space, but you can go up to a wall and you can become like a shadow on the wall. And it all has to do with like moving lights and stuff to navigate these puzzles. And it was pretty interesting. If you were to just burn through it, I think it's like only like a 5-hour completion time. So it was perfect for just getting an achievement a day.
Sounds
and it was
interesting.
a pretty interesting. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting puzzle game. It's on Game Pass, so I would recommend it as a quick playthrough if you like puzzle games. I love puzzle games, so it was definitely enjoyable. It takes place in like 1930s.
So it's like a steampunk.
It's like actual 1930s, so it's not no steampunk like futuristic tech in a an older setting. It actually takes place, so there's like gangsters and stuff. Although I don't know if it was supposed to take place in like the UK or whether it's like New York. I want to say it's New York because it had like the typical like Italian gangster mob characters in it. But yeah, if you're looking for a quick, pretty interesting puzzle game, I definitely would recommend Contrast. I like that, and so I completed that and got the completion in that. And then the main other thing that I play, actually, before I touch on that, one other thing is I started playing on the Steam version of one of my favorite games that I talk about all the time is Subnautica.
I would say it's Subnautica.
Yes, it is Subnautica. I started playing the Steam version. And since I've beaten it probably a dozen times, in order to make things a little more interesting, given it's the PC version, I looked into modding it because a couple of PC games I've been playing, I spent basically 2 months playing nothing but Satisfactory. I looked into the mods on that, and that has been making the game even more interesting than it already was. But not stuff to like break the game, just to like a lot of quality of life improvement stuff. So I was looking at like what are all the top mods for Subnautica. So I downloaded a bunch of mods, and nothing to cheat the game. Just like more recipes for items you can build and
always
stuff
be worried
like
because some of those can disable achievements in some games.
Because Subnautica has a built-in console command menu. After that was discovered, the devs patched out achievements if you use the console commands. So I believe on the console versions of the game, you can't do that anymore and still get the achievements. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's the case. But on the PC version, people created a mod to re-enable achievements. So I can still play it and use these fun mods to make the game even more interesting, and I can still get the achievements. So that's been pretty cool. I'm about 70% of the way through the game on that one, and it's cool playing it coming from a new perspective and having new things in it that I've never had before, despite playing through it so many times.
Yeah.
But the other kind of big thing that I played in January was retro achievements. As I talked about a little bit on last stream, because the last thing I had played was Mega Man X2. I had gotten 100% completion up to the beginning of Sigma's Fortress. So I started from there and I played through the rest of the game, and I got pretty much all of those like story-based progression achievements essentially. and beat the boss and gotten all those achievements. And then I went and went through and got some of the various achievements that I might have missed for getting like a certain item in this stage without using, certain other abilities that you're normally supposed to use to get to them, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I did start working on the no-hit boss achievements, but my God, Mega Man X2's no-hit boss achievements are so much more difficult than X1 or X3. So I probably spent probably 2 hours or so, and I only beat 3 of the 8 bosses with no damage.
Oof.
And there are achievements for beating the 3 Maverick Hunters as well, which I don't think I'll ever get any of those achievements. But Nerdporial kind of knows where I'm going with this because DJ Axis, as I've mentioned, has been doing like Mega Man Mondays, and he played through X1 and X2 recently. He hasn't done X3 yet, and Nerdporial a couple weeks ago played through X3, and X3 is my favorite of the Mega Man X's, as I often say. Those are also my favorite Super Nintendo games, and it had been a while since I'd played through X3. And watching Nerdporial play it, I'm like, man, I got to play through it again. I had DJ hang out in a Discord call with me so he could watch it and I could give him tips and stuff for when he eventually goes through X3. So I started X3 from scratch.
I think I was in that stream.
Yeah, you probably were. And so I started X3 from
At least
scratch.
In the chat.
And I played through it, and I got all, not all on that one stream, but between that day and I played more on the next day, but I don't think it was on stream. I don't remember. I'd have to go and check. But over the course of 2 days, essentially, I have all but one achievement in Mega Man X3. And getting through the Mega Man X3 bosses with no hits was fairly simple. I think there were only a couple that really gave me a hassle. But man, X2 bosses with no hits have been kicking my butt. But the only achievement left I have in Mega Man X3 is for beating the game with 0 upgrades, which I think you said you already have.
I have it in X1, not.
Oh, in X1.
That's the only one I've played. So.
Okay. So fortunately, the passcodes are not banned, so I can skip straight to the end of the game and just play through the Sigma stages, which I think I can do. But you have to do it with no. Obviously, you have the weapons for beating each of the bosses, but you can't have any health upgrades, no sub tanks, nothing. I think I can do it. I may give it a shot at some point, but I don't know when. But I think I can get the completion in Mega Man X3 for retro achievements, but I don't know when I'm going to try it, but I feel like I can do it.
You should go for the X1 as well, since you got all the no hits.
X1 I could probably do. X2 would probably be the hardest one, and X2 also has the most achievements, I think, out of the 3. But no, I do not hate Mega Man X2. X2 is just my least favorite of the 3. But yes, I love X3. It is my favorite of the Mega
Just
Man
because
X
I think
trilogy.
Donkey Kong Country 3 is the worst of the 3 doesn't mean I hate it.
And what's up, Insidious Bliss? How's it going, bro? Good to see you. And CLS Studios. What's up, CLS Studio? Haven't seen you in a little bit, but welcome. We are talking about our achievement hunting over November. So thanks for joining us. So that pretty much wraps up everything that I did in January, as it wasn't a whole lot. So if you want to finish us off with...
I'll finish off what we did this past month, since I got one more game. This one is another one I've been doing on stream, and that is the DMC reboot. Now, if Paul is somewhere in here, he should be saying that this is the best DMC just so he can summon K. Because he seems to be saying that a lot in my streams.
And every time he does, K shows up?
No, she hasn't shown up yet, but if he says it enough times, she will. But I'm actually enjoying this game. I can see why fans of the original series are not big fans of this, because they changed everything. But the gameplay is still solid. I'm actually liking the bosses.
That's what I've heard. And given that I know next to nothing about DMC, I've heard that from a gameplay standpoint, it's a great game. It's just from a lore standpoint, it's terrible. I
don't actually mind the lore either. It's actually fun. It's actually tainted by the Devil May Cry name. Not helped.
Insidious is with you. It was overhated.
And I'm actually loving the music too, so. But I'm having a lot of fun. Luckily, I only have to do the highest ranking on one difficulty.
Okay.
So, but after I'm done with the Dante story, there is a Virgil DLC that I have to work on.
Oh, that's what
So
you were talking about earlier.
yeah, so technically, actually threw it, but in June, this game will be this version of the game will be incompletable because the DLC will no longer be buyable.
Well, if you bought the DLC, you can still get the achievements, but if you don't buy the DLC before that, then you won't be able to get it, and it'll
And there's
be
no
unobtainable.
hard copy of the DLC.
Yeah, and they never released it on a physical version.
So this will be the only DMC that you can't complete soon.
So yeah, if anyone out there wants to get the completion in that, make sure you pick up the DLC before the store shuts down.
But I've only played it for about 4 streams, and I think I beat it on the 3rd stream. Okay. And I'm now currently going through and getting those. In this game, it's the triple S ranking because they actually go up. They have S, SS, and S and triple S. But luckily, unlike DMC4, where you have to break every breakable thing to get your S ranking, the third ranking is actually on the collectibles, and those are permanently unlocked whenever you find them the first time. So it's just your style points and your time.
So. Okay. One thing I wanted to mention, Nerdporo was saying they got to catch the replay of his Chillporo yesterday. I have it on my watch list, so I haven't watched it yet, but I will be watching. I'm looking forward to it. So, CLS saying Nerdy Neo, but I will make sure to chat in your stream now. All right. I'm assuming that means you're taking off, but yeah, it's good to see you for a little bit.
I also see Nerdporo talking about Symphony of the Night.
Yes,
he should go for those retro. He should go for those retro achievements in that game.
He's playing through the Sega Saturn version.
Ooh,
so
that's a version I'll never have. I'll never try to find because it's only Japanese.
So
I don't go for non-North American releases usually.
Yeah, does this? I'm assuming. Yeah, since we don't have anything past PS2, I'm assuming Sega Saturn is non-retro achievements.
Yeah, but
is that accurate?
I think so. I'd have to check again, but I still need 3 achievements on the PS1 version, and 2 of them are technically new playthroughs. Although one of them only requires you to get to the librarian.
Oh, okay.
You have to be on luck mode as Alucard, and you have to get to the librarian without killing a certain amount of enemies. You have to kill like less than like 30 enemies or something like
that. Okay.
And it's actually real difficult. Wait, what do you mean by that's racist?
I think he's probably referencing something you said, and I didn't catch it.
I didn't catch it either.
Okay, CLS is saying that he's referring to one of his previous messages. So, in regard to DMC with the potential future unobtainable DLC, that's on the 360 version because there is an Xbox One version that has it all built in or doesn't have achievements for it. Is that right?
Yeah, the Xbox One version has the DLC put into it. Oh, that's where they're talking about North America only.
North America releases only. That's racist.
Well, only if they were released in North America. I don't care if they came from Capcom or Ubisoft. I'm still buying. I'll buy it where they came from. It's just that it has to be released here.
No,
I'm not going to try and find a Mother 3 copy.
I am. I'm planning at some point to play because Symphony of the Night on Xbox. There's the original Xbox Live Arcade version, which I have the completion in, and then there was also a Japanese stack as well. But since it's backwards compatible, I don't necessarily need a Japanese Xbox 360 to do it. And some of my on the Discord is talking about the Achievement Hunting 101. Some of them have done it, so I may go for the Japanese version of Symphony of the Night at some point.
Gotcha. There's also another release on the PlayStation 4.
Oh, for Symphony of the Night?
Yeah, if you ever cared about playing it again in that way.
If it's PlayStation 4 only, unlikely.
Well, now that you're part of Metagamer Score.
I do have a PlayStation account, even though I don't have a PlayStation, because I do have I know I have at least one game, because I think I might have a couple, because they gave a few away for free.
Gotcha.
So I did sign up with the anticipation, because I figured at some point I'd get a PlayStation, because there is a lot of PlayStation games that I do want to play, but most of them have all come to come to Steam. I've got a PC that can run them now, so The one holdout so far, as I often mention, is Ghost of Tsushima is still not on a PC version. So if that never comes to PC, I may get a PlayStation just to play that.
Yeah, I just like having every console, so that's just me. But because of that, I could technically play and get all achievements and trophies for every Devil May Cry about 6 times at least. Because I could do the 360 version, the Xbox One version, and what's crazy is that for 5, they released a special edition for that one too, which is its own stack as well. So literally every DMC has been re-released at least twice on Xbox and PlayStation. The only thing is that for PlayStation 3, the Devil May Cry 4 doesn't have trophies because it was released before that time period.
Okay.
So that would be the only game I wouldn't be able to replay. And then, of course, you got the Steam versions. And now Retro Achievements has 1 through 3. But the 1 through 3 on Retro Achievements are way, way harder than the official sets are.
Okay.
Because they ask you to S rank every difficulty with both characters when there are multiple characters available.
Oof, yeah, have fun with that. You're talking about the same game on multiple platforms. When I say stacks, I'm talking about like the same game on the same platform but has different achievement sets, or it may be the same achievement sets, but you get the achievements again. And one of the ones I often reference because it also counts towards the Metroidvania leaderboard is Arkham Asylum. It just on Xbox there are 6 achievements sets for Arkham Asylum, and there are 3, I think, for Arkham City. So you can play the same game a bunch of times and get achievements every time.
Luckily,
I've done
those games
3
are
of the
great.
Arkham. Yes,
Luckily,
they
those
are
games
great games.
Are good enough to actually want to play them. And then if you're someone like me, there's also the PlayStation and Steam versions.
Yeah, and then if you have other platforms, you can play the other platforms as well. Because I've done 3 of the Xbox stacks for the Arkham Asylum, and I still have 2 more to do.
I think I've only done Asylum on 360 and PS3, and I've only done the original releases. I still need to do the Game of the Year editions.
Yeah, I've done the Arkham Asylum, the original 360 release, and the Game of the Year edition, and the Return to Arkham Asylum, which is the next gen version. And then I have somewhere
Games for Windows Live.
The Games for Windows Live one, I think, is that one right there. And then there's the Games for Windows Live Game of the Year edition, which I don't have yet, but I will be getting that at some point.
One of these days, I need to get a Dark Souls Games for Windows Live. There's a way to do that one. That's the only Dark Souls I haven't completed on Xbox.
Okay. So that actually, if you don't mind, that actually segues perfectly for me for what I've got upcoming. Is that, or was there more that you were going to touch on?
I don't think so. That's everything from last month.
Okay. So that'll segue perfectly into what I'm planning on getting done, or maybe not getting done, but working on through February, is with all this nonsense about, this terrible Suicide Squad game. I started playing Return to Arkham City because the Return to Arkham games come in a bundle of both Arkham Asylum and City. So I've had them for a while, and like I said, I've completed Return to Arkham Asylum, but I haven't really started. I played Return to Arkham City here and there just to get achievements for contests, but I hadn't actually sat down and started it and played from beginning to end. So
what's funny? The Return to Arkham is actually one of the games I picked up today.
Oh,
nice. In that pick that I posted in Melee Games Discord.
I was looking at Melee Discord earlier to see if anyone was posting what picks, any picks of what they picked up recently. I didn't see yours. That must have been before you posted it. But awesome. I
picked up a ton of DS games because I was like, you know what? I kind of want to collect some of these DS games because GameStop threw out all those old cases.
Cool. But yeah, the Return to Arkham bundle is Return to Arkham and Asylum and City often goes on sale for super cheap for $5, and that's a steal.
I think I got mine for about $15, and that was the physical copy.
Oh, okay, nice. So yeah, if you haven't played the Arkham games, I definitely recommend picking up that bundle. They're both great games. So I started playing through Arkham City again. I started from the beginning because I had gone through a little bit of the story already just for those achievements for contests. But now that I'm like actually playing through it, I started it over from scratch. And because the last time I actually played through Arkham City was when it not long after it launched. So it's been about 10 years since I played Arkham City. So it's good to play through a great Batman game uh, again and sees Batman treated with respect. And just to touch on chat here, TLS is asking about Switch 2. If I very likely will pick up a Switch 2, Switch Pro. I'm hoping it's called the Super Nintendo Switch, but I will assuming it has backwards compatibility with Switch games, I will most likely pick it up on day one if it's not sold out everywhere.
I'll probably pick it up day one because I kind of want to. I always like getting it day one because then the exploits are easy to find. Because I still have a day one Switch. As soon as the Switch Online goes off, all I have to do is put a paper clip in it, and it's hacked.
I do own a few Switch games with the latest December sale, because Nintendo games rarely go on sale, and when they do, they don't go on very big of a sale. So I picked up a few of them from that December sale. So I own them. I don't have anything to play them on. So if it is not backwards compatible,
physical.
If it's not backwards compatible, the Switch 2, that is, I will probably pick it. I'm sure once the Switch 2 comes out, a bunch of people will probably be selling their Switch 1s for cheap. So I'll probably pick one up at that point. But I'm assuming it'll be backwards compatible, and I'll probably get the Switch 2 at right out the gate. And Report is saying, did Rocksteady have major shifts in personnel? I'm assuming they are. As with most companies that were great at the top of their game 10 years ago, there's probably no one really left at any of these companies that
I know the founders started another company.
Yeah, that's right. The founders of Rocksteady started their own company. Do you know what that company's called? I've heard it, but I don't remember what it's called.
I did not put it into my memory.
Okay, but yeah, a lot of the studios that made some of the greatest games of all time from 10, 15 years ago, I mean, they're not at those studios anymore. So a lot of these studios are essentially those studios in name only anymore.
Yeah.
And yes, CLS, I agree. Origins is a great game, and it wasn't Rocksteady, it was WB, I think Montreal, but it was WB Games, and I think it's still a great game. A lot of people think it sucks, but
the worst thing about Origins is you can't complete it.
Yeah, it's got multiplayer mode that is no longer playable, which sucks. Which I've got I think, with the exception of one achievement, I think I have all the achievements in the game except for the multiplayer ones.
Hey, Retro Achievements is doing multiplayer achievements, right? Because with PS2 comes with multiplayer servers.
Oh, that's right.
And they're actually adding achievements to the multiplayer aspects, and they're making the multiplayer stuff separate.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's doing it right.
Yeah.
But yeah, Origins had great boss fights, had arguably the best combat. Definitely a good game. I definitely recommend it, and you can get it. And it's backwards compatible. It's the one Arkham game. Well, I mean, there's only Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, but those are not backwards compatible. You have to play those on a 360. But Arkham Origins is backwards compatible on a 360.
Maybe they were thinking about doing a remake like they did with Asylum and City, and they were like, okay, that's a backwards compatibility thing. We can just use that. Which just screws out the PlayStation players, though.
Yeah. Oh, Nepro hasn't played Origins. I definitely recommend it. And it sounds like CLS, that's the one he's played the most. So, yeah. Let's see here. Neo won't get the next Nintendo system. I don't like saying Switch 2. If it's got backwards compatibility, I will get it. There's too many good Nintendo games that I've missed out on that I do want to play. So
yeah, I'm just waiting for Retro Achievements to finally support the Switch to start playing those games.
That would be awesome if they added support to even modern games that just don't have achievements.
I mean, some people are asking for 360 just because they're like these sets are worthless.
Understandable. I would love to see it on original Xbox and a lot of like PC games that didn't have.
I think there are some people who are trying to get DOSBox to get achievements in there.
I would love to. Achievements. I mean, because I've only really got 2 games this year that I'm really looking forward to, but one of them is coming out in a few weeks, but is a remake of an old game, and that's Dark Forces. So that'll obviously have achievements.
I'm about to say Tomb Raider.
The first Tomb Raider I played was on 360, So I don't have the nostalgia for the Tomb Raider games, but the ones that I played, I do like, and I do plan to play the Tomb Raider remasters at some point.
Yeah, because
So
it's
and
still coming out on Xbox and PlayStation, isn't it?
yeah, it is.
So
So
it
it'll
will have
obviously have
achievements, it's just that
achievements.
the Switch version won't.
Yeah, and obviously the original versions didn't have achievements, but yeah, unless
Well, they
did
do
you know
now on
that they?
retro achievements.
Okay, that answered my question. I was just gonna say, did the old ones have retro
I'm pretty
achievements?
sure I'm pretty sure there's a support. Let me check.
Um, but yeah, I would love to see like some of my favorite games from back in the day were, I often say my favorite Star Wars games is the Dark Forces games because Kyle Katarn is one of my top favorite Star Wars characters of all time. I would love to see retro achievements added into the entire series since none of the games had achievements. The original Dark Forces, Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast, or Mysteries of the Sith, which was an expansion to Jedi Knight.
Oh yeah, it does
Jedi
look like
Outcast,
all five Tomb Raider games are on PlayStation 1 are supported
support
on
on
retro
retro
achievements.
achievements, sweet, and Jedi Academy. I would love to go back and play through those again with achievements. But it seems like retro achievements doesn't care about PC games; it only cares about console games.
Well, they
Dude, not you, dude. Nertorial dude. You didn't know that Dark Forces is getting a remake? It comes out on the 28th. It's from Night Dive, which has a really good track record. Yeah, Dark Forces is getting a remaster. So I'm surprised you hadn't heard about it.
I'm looking through the set. They do have the Amstrad. They do have some of like the older PC stuff, like the Amstrad CPC, the Apple II. Um, um, I think the MSX was a PC, wasn't it?
I don't even know what that is.
But those are like the '80s PC consoles.
Oh, okay.
So they still have like some PCs, but not some of the newer stuff.
Yeah.
It'd be a bit
Yeah.
difficult. Like I said, there has been some people actually wanting to see DOSBox being supported, but that would still be like the '90s.
Yeah. Need something a little bit newer. But I'd love to see some of those, late nine or just 90s, early 2000s PC games before achievements existed.
Well,
Get retro
if they
achievements.
had
That'd be
Xbox
awesome.
versions, they'll be available through those eventually.
Do you think original Xbox is going to get support on retro achievements?
Oh, definitely. Why wouldn't it?
Sweet. I
I
sure hope
mean,
so because there's a bunch of retro,
I know
original
the
Xbox games that I
Xbox
want to play again.
the I think the OG Xbox emulator has been getting a lot of support, a lot of progress recently. So
Awesome.
they don't
So
want to support an emulator that's still in a work in progress.
that makes sense.
Because
Yeah,
like
there's a
with
bunch.
unlike all the Nintendo systems, that Xbox really hasn't had much progress until recently.
Okay. Yeah, I would love
Like
to
you can
get
even still play
Xbox.
you can play Switch games at better resolution than the original hardware right now
Yeah,
already.
that's funny. But yeah, I would love to play through some of the original Xbox games again with retro achievements. That'd be awesome.
I'd like to see how crazy they go with Halo stuff.
Yeah. I'm actually not even though I love Halo. I would that isn't even one of the first games I would play with retro achievements.
Yeah.
Yes. So CLS, hey, and have Dude on. So we do this once a month. So this is our 4th episode where we just talk about our achievement hunting ventures over the last month. So if you're interested in hearing us talk about our achievements over the last few months, you can go back. I've got a playlist for all the Achievement Chasers episodes. So if that sounds interesting to you, you can definitely go check those out. Um, so yeah, so Arkham City is what I just started playing last week. Return to Arkham City, I should say. So I don't think I've gotten any achievements in it yet because I haven't gotten back to where I was before I restarted from scratch. I think I'm getting kind of close though.
That's
And
one
then
of the
the
main
other
reasons I
thing,
don't do those events is because I just don't like
starting a
moving
game and
between.
not playing through it.
Yeah, I like to
Yeah,
play through it.
understandable. I'm the same way, but I will do that for a competition, and then when I do go back to actually playing the game, I'll start it from the beginning. So, and then last night I just started playing with Spartacus because we're going to be playing through it in co-op because it's got crossplay. So he's playing on his PlayStation, I'm playing on my Xbox, and that's the reason why I haven't. I started it a couple years ago, and I got like the first achievement or two, and that's it. Because I've been waiting for someone to play it with. And he's like, dude, let's play it. So we just started playing through Outriders, which is basically a Destiny clone. So we played it for probably about 4 hours or so last night. I think we both got our characters up to a level 11. So it's a 3-player game. So if there's anyone out there who has Outriders, it doesn't matter what platform you play on, it's cross-platform. So we got room for one more. So if you want to join us, Get your character up to about level 11. We may be playing more tonight. I don't know. It's kind of up to. I'll let him know what my schedule is. He's gonna let me know when he can play. But if you want to play Outriders with us, let me know, and we can probably make that happen.
I'll be talking about my my Destiny substitute later tonight on the town hall.
Oh, on the town hall. Okay.
Yeah, because it's about cosmetics.
Oh, gotcha. So let's see here. As of now, I have. So I had. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I actually had 5 achievements already in the game. My last one being June of 2022, which was probably for an event. So I got 2 achievements last night. So it's now at the top of my list of games played. So we're going to be playing through it. And I've been having a lot of fun with it because it's basically a Destiny clone, and I love Destiny. So that's.
I like Destiny for what it was, but it just kept going too crazy.
Yeah.
It kept resetting me in a way that I didn't like.
Understandable. Yeah, so Arkham City and Outriders is probably what I'm going to be spending the most time with on this month. So that's about all I've got planned for February.
Yeah, for me, I'll continue to be working on DMC on stream, but I don't think this is going to take me as long as DMC4. So I think I'll be able to finish it sometime this month. And whenever I finish it, I'm going to go and start on Donkey Kong Country 2.
DKC 2, nice.
And then I'll go to Devil May Cry 4. Not 4, 5.
Okay.
Because this one should only take me 2 streams like the original.
Not terribly long. Yeah.
And I do have the speedrun achievement in this one, so I don't have to worry about that one.
Okay, so do you already have the original completion in this one, and you have to go back and get the recompletion? Okay.
Yeah, because it was another one that added a bunch of achievements.
Did you develop the achievement set for this one originally?
I did not, because someone else did it around the same time I did the original.
Gotcha.
For DKC 1. But
okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing all 3 of the DKCs again at some point.
Yeah, in my free time, remember I did play Spyro 1, and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to play more Spyro, but I've already done every version that was the original trilogy, because I've done PS3 or PS4, I've done Xbox One, and I've done the PS1 versions on Retro Achievements. Although I could do it on Steam, but I decided to do another Retro Achievements. Now I'll go and play through these 2.
Spyro GBA games. Versions of Spyro.
Yeah, 2 GBAs. Okay. They're the isometric ones, so I've heard they're fun for what they are, and they're not too difficult.
I'm assuming it's basically a GBA version of one of the existing console Spyros, or
no, these are entirely new.
Up. Okay,
they're they're called Season of Ice and Season of Flame.
Cool. Do those like correlate at all together, kind of like Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, or are they just two?
No, the first one's it's Season of Ice, and then as you can see, this one has 2 on it.
Okay, so it is basically a sequel.
It's a sequel.
Okay, not like a Pokemon Red Blue sort of thing.
Yeah, it's not like Spyro or Purple and or Spyro Orange and Crash Purple. Those terrible games.
Okay, I don't know anything about those, so.
Oh, those ones are terrible mini game compilations.
Oh, gotcha.
On the GBA, but it had Crash and Spyro with first interaction with each other.
Okay. Because the reason why I asked that is because, like the Tony Hawk back in the day, the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, I played Tony Hawk 1 on N64. I played Tony Hawk 2 on GBA, and then I played Tony Hawk 3 on GameCube. So when I played the recent remaster Tony Hawk 1+2, and it had basically all of Tony Hawk's 1 and 2 together, that was the first time playing Tony Hawk 2 in 3D, because Tony Hawk 2 on GBA was also an isometric, but it was literally like a clone of
They did a really good job with those GBA ports.
Yeah, the levels are exactly the same in the GBA version as they are on the console version. It's just it's in an isometric view rather than over the shoulder. So when I finally played Tony Hawk 2 in 3D for the first time, I'm like, these levels are like identical to what I played on the Game Boy Advance 2 decades ago.
Yeah, it's just the Game Boy Color ones are weird.
I never played it on Game Boy Color, but I do remember it on
the first 3 were on Game Boy Color, and I have them.
Okay.
Haven't played them yet, though.
So, all right. And yeah, CLS saying he'll watch the playlist. Cool. Hope you enjoy the previous episodes of Achievement Chasers.
Yep.
So, all right. Anything else you got planned for February?
Not planned. If I pick up something else, I'll just pick it up and play
Yeah.
it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that'll probably do it for episode 4. And yes, look at that. An hour and a half, 20 minutes shorter than the last one. So we kept it a bit shorter this time.
Not every time we got like 8 games each that we played through, and we got 4 planned next month.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there for Achievement Chasers episode 4. We'll be back around the beginning of March sometime to talk about the February and what we got done. Dude, what do you got planned? What are you planning on streaming next and when?
Well, I'll be joining Melee Games Town Hall sometime tonight over on
So,
the on Melee Games channel. We'll be talking about cosmetics. I don't have as much to talk about with that one like I did with controllers or the Xbox 360, but I'll talk a little bit about Warframe there.
okay. Yeah, so
Because people joke about how that's the end game for Warframe is a fashion frame.
oh, yeah. Basically, as I've said before, everything I know about that game is from you and a Jobby Gamer, but it definitely makes sense from what I've heard.
Yeah. And tomorrow night I will continue my triple S runs of
On DMC.
on DMC.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you're not friends with the Melee Games crew, I definitely recommend go checking them out. They're going to have their monthly town hall tonight. So I don't know if I'll actually be on that one. This one, I made the first one I skipped actually being on the panel, but I will definitely be watching. So come hang out with us in chat, dude. Sounds like he'll definitely be on the panel. And then for me, next up on my channel right here tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Pacific, 2:30 p.m. Not Central. That'd be Eastern. Will be the next episode of Party Chat, episode 16. We're doing the Valentine's Day special. We've got a bunch of lovely ladies on the panel. Kay is one of them. We're going to be talking about video game stuff that might have to do with ladies and romance and love and stuff. So I'm really excited. This is going to be the biggest Party Chat ever because typically it's 3 to 4 people. We got a packed panel of 6 since that's the most I can fit on Restream on the free version. So it's going to be a blast. I'm definitely looking forward to tomorrow's Party Chat.
Don't forget to bring up DMC reboot while Kay's there.
Yeah, Kay and I are always bickering about something, so I'll have to. I know she's not a fan of the DMC Devil May Cry, so maybe I'll have to rub that in her face. Yeah, even when I tweeted it out today, she retweeted it saying, "Hey, Neo and I will probably argue about something, but what is it? Come check it out on the stream." So,
hey, I actually primed her for one of the ones on the town hall.
Oh,
when it came to Zelda.
Curse you. So
not only did I make her drunk, I told her 5 different Zeldas that were better than the one that she thinks is the best.
Yeah, and then I come in and she unleashes her wrath on me. Thanks, dude. It's all your fault. And a moment that will live in infamy. That was a fun stream, though.
Yeah, it was.
So
it is called the Dude Incident for a reason.
All right, everyone that hung out with us in chat, CLS, Nerdporial, Extra Zero, Horny Alf, Insidious Bliss, DJ Axis. Thanks for hanging out with us. Oh, my good buddy JT Gunn. Love seeing you guys in chat and hanging out with us. So I will see you all later. Hope to see you tomorrow for a Party Chat. We'll catch you later. And everyone in the meantime, game on.